So apparently we are live. Evening rolling trip. Evening. It's just Bjorn and myself for right now. Hope you all are having a wonderful week so far. My week's fuck that I mean alone should explain everything. Um, evening just 10B. I don't know why yours didn't pop up there earlier. Couple that shoots. Sup? Yeah. So it's only Tuesday. It I don't know about you guys, but it feels like fucking Thursday to me. But maybe that's just because I've had a long couple days. So
I feel like it should be Friday.
yeah, it's just like the first full week back in the office in a long time is this week's going to be tough, especially because next week we have a short week again. Technically it's a short week with work because I have to do travel. I have to go out to Phoenix. So like Monday I'm in the air pretty much the entire day. Wednesday I'm in the air like just about the entire day. Like essentially, I get to the airport late morning, and then I don't land until late in the evening. So I'm pretty much gone all day. So it's just, and then Tuesday I'm at a conference all day. So it's like next week doesn't even count. It's a mulligan. What's up, Pavio7, Randy Butternubs? Hey. What's good, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. Um,
Hello,
I
everyone.
was gonna do some situational topics, but I'm waiting till some other people jump in and maybe we'll run some situations through the room and stuff. I know some people like that stuff. So a couple that shoot says back to work working on cars, but it's actually slow. Really? I'd expect like wintertime for it to be busy, especially with people now doing more repairs on their vehicles than buying new. Although I've known a couple people that bought new vehicles in the last, I don't know, like 3 weeks. I think that's just because all that like year end blowout deals and like Christmas savings and yada yada. So uh, we have a Monday off, but I promised to visit a customer before I realized it. I've done that more times than I can count, where I've gone like, especially because my calendar is just all it's automated, it's already set. So if I want to take certain days off, I have to manually go in and knock them off. And I'll send out like mass emails or mass communications. I'm like, yeah, schedule an appointment with me, and people will schedule, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be off that day. So fun times, but yeah, yeah. So I was talking to Bjorn before the chat. As some of you may know, in the process of trying to move again. So that's coming with its own fun little challenges, more or less just financial BS. Not so much the financials of moving. It's a hell of a lot cheaper moving 2 hours up the road than moving cross country. Um, so saves me thousands of dollars in fuel and a truck and a trailer and all that fun stuff and boxes because now I can just like load up 3 or 4 boxes, bring them up, unload them, bring the boxes back. But I have to pay double rent for like 2 months, so that's gonna hurt bad. I didn't even contemplate that, so working through that situation, trying to figure that out. Might end up selling some guns to cover that for 2 months, but we'll see. People got their credit card bills from Christmas, so they send their money that way. Cars take a back seat to kids and family. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, everyone I know that bought a vehicle is fairly well off, and they're all like none of them have kids, so it's like them, maybe their significant other, and like mom and dad. So maybe a dog or a cat. Um, so But yeah, so I'm thinking about potentially pulling a Duke and consolidating calibers, getting rid of a bunch of my surplus stuff. I was doing some pricing out and trying to figure out prices on stuff, what it's going for, see what I can potentially get for it, see where I should be selling it. I don't know if I want to go arms list route because I know arms list now charges. Because I haven't used arms list since 2020, so I know arms list now charges for you to sell on their site. So I got to weigh that, see if I want to do that, if I want to go gun broker, because I know gun broker takes a percentage of the fee. So Yeah, a couple that shoots says paid double rent for his house for 6 months when he was. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna suck because it's like the place I'm moving to is technically cheaper than the current place, but not by enough to like soften the blow. And so it's like, fuck. Now I gotta pay double rent. I'm trying to avoid paying double electric and double cable. I just want to move my cable up there, cut off my electric here, move my electric up there. Um, and then this place is just going to be a shell until I can move everything out, and just every weekend come grab some stuff, move it out type shit. But yeah, it's going to be like an extra, probably like 2 grand or so. I'm going to have to pay in rent over that 2 month process. So that'll be fun. But I have to come up with, I should say, I have to come up with an extra 2 grand. So that'll be fun trying to figure that out. But Rolling Trip says has to buy one soon, losing their company cars, and I've got to buy one, but we are getting a small allowance in mileage. Well, that's good at least that they're giving you an allowance in mileage for it, but that sucks that you have to go buy one, especially in this market with the bubble being where it's at. Like, moving is my least favorite thing in the world to do. I hate moving as well. The nice thing is so when I moved here, I moved out of a single floor, like, it was nice, easy getting everything out because it was just take it out the front door, up onto the truck. And then when I moved here, I found out my apartment was on the third floor, so I have to like shimmy everything up fucking flights of stairs and everything. So moving out of here is going to suck with some of the stuff, but I have friends now that I can rely on a little bit more. So I'm hoping just to bring them up, load up trucks, pull everything down, like all the big stuff at once, and then the smaller stuff, instead of having to move it all at one time, like when I moved here, I had to get everything off the truck because I had to go back the next day. And it was just me because it was middle of the week, so no one could be down here. Where now I can take, several weekends over that 2 month period, move a couple boxes at a time, a couple bags of shit at a time, like whatever, and just get up to the new place, which is it's a single floor, so I don't have to go up and down stairs and shit. Just have to go right in, and then, when it comes to the bigger stuff, then I can have my buddies and stuff help me with that, getting it out. But a couple of that shoot says shut off electric, and then they find them at the apartment while I was living at my house. I was pissed. Ended up being an unholy amount of money for those 6 months. Yeah, so I'm looking at shutting off electric here, probably switching everything like cable and electric, probably end of this month. Because I'm hoping, because it sucks, because like this next weekend I'm going up to look at the place and get the keys. Like to actually walk through the place, get the keys, and then the weekend after I'll be up there technically, but I'll only be up there to like do small little like paint and like little shit, get some stuff because the old tenants left a bunch of shit, so I have to get that like all kind of piled in a corner. They have 30 days I think to collect it. So I have to get all that shit like piled off in a corner. So that stuff's going to be the next 2 weekends, and then I come back next weekend down here, and then I'm just going to start slowly taking stuff up. Like I may even do like middle of the week, like overnighter trips or something, but we'll see. Pavaya says I have a 21 RAV4, and I must admit I like it. I'm a car guy, so it's hard to admit I like my soccer mom. My mom had a RAV4. It was a solid little car. It was she had an '03 RAV4, I want to say. '03 or '04, I forget. What's up, Tim Allen? But Rolling Trip says good to hear. I'll probably put 40 to 15,000 miles on it. They have a great history. Yeah, they do. They have a good history of her RAV4. She put a lot of miles on that thing. And my mom is someone who should never be around vehicles ever. Perfect example. Story time. Yay, story time. So my sister used to go to school down in Tennessee. She used to go to school down in Nashville. And so us being up in Scranton, Pennsylvania area, my mom would drive down and like visit her every now and then. So one of the trips back, my mom's driving back. She calls my dad and she's like, the check engine light came on. I don't know what to do. My dad's like, is the car acting weird? Like, what's going on? Is it a solid light? Is it a flashing light? This is when she had her Honda. She had a '05 or '06 Honda Accord. She's like, I don't know what to do, blah, 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 blah. She's like, I thought it might be low on oil, so I tried to add oil to it, but I just went into the store and grabbed an oil and started trying to pour it in, but I really didn't know where it was supposed to go. So this guy helped me pour it in, and he asked me if it was the right oil, and I said yes because it said motor oil, and I'm like, first off, we always ran full synthetic in that car. I'm like, oh God, help me, because she's still a good like 1,500 miles away from home. She gets it home. I go out and take a look at it. I'm ready for like some sensor to be going or anything. I have my scanner. She didn't fucking tighten the gas cap. That's all it was. Like, and of course, like when we were on the phone, I'm like, did she tighten the gas cap? She says she did. I'm like, God damn it. So then I had to do an oil change because I had no clue what fucking oil she put in the car. Like, that's just how my mother is with vehicles. Love her, but like, not someone who should be near a vehicle. Oh, Bavaria has a Civic Sport. Oh, and had a Mustang and a Challenger too. And what type? What year Mustang? And I'm assuming one of the newer Challengers or an older Challenger. I know Mustangs get a lot of hate. I love the new Mustangs. I understand why people don't like Mustangs. I get it. But the new Mustangs are pretty awesome. I rented one when I came to visit before I had moved back in 2021. It was a great car. Visibility was a little rough, but that was also because it was like shitty time of year, so I'm just chalking it up to that as well. But that's an awesome car. But yeah, I miss having a variety of motor vehicles. I really want to. My Audi is almost paid off. It should be paid off by the summer, so I'm having big plans for that once I move and get all my debt kind of paid down, consolidate, and all that stuff fixed. And then I want to get a bike too. I really want to get a bike this summer. I'm itching on it like bad. It's just again right now with prices of stuff, even bikes right now, like this is prime buying bike time, and even those are expensive as fuck. It doesn't make sense to me, at least in my area. So we'll see. But civic reliability. Ooh, that's a nice stable that you have there. Couple that shoots 2012 Lexus ES350, a Caddy SRX, a 14 CRZ, and a built Camaro SS. I'm assuming you got like cam and I'm assuming it's cammed and everything like that, or the CRZs are pretty nice. I had a buddy that built a CRZ, and like I was actually surprised by that because when they first came out, I was not impressed, but he did some stuff to it that made it actually very nice. I was impressed with it. And then he got out of imports for a long time because I know it's kind of turned into car chat, but he had a Civic for a while. He had the CRZ for a long time, and then he had a Fox body for a little bit, and then he had what else do you have? I swear to God, he had like half a dozen Grand Marquis because he realized they could buy Grand Marquis super cheap and then LS swap them. So he was doing that for a long time and just building Grand Marquis that were LS swapped out the wazoo. And then finally he sold his last one. Well, his last Grand Marquis he sold like I want to say it was like end of 2021, something like that. And then he got himself a CRV or no, what is not CRV? CTSV, a Caddy CTSV. He bought himself a built CTSV, and now it was built already, but like a guy that built it didn't do a great job, so he's ripping it apart this winter and rebuilding it, and so hopefully it'll come out in May. We're gonna see. So that'll be fun though. But yay, car chat. But anyone else have any topics that they want to bring up? Anything that they want to address? I guess open. I don't have the ability to throw a poll or anything in the chat because I don't have enough subscribers yet. But like anyone have any who has sold firearms and stuff online. Like, are you guys still using Arms List? Do you prefer Gun Broker? You're selling at your local gun shop? Like, how are you guys nowadays selling a lot of your stuff? Curious to hear like what your six, if you're selling. I mean, I don't want to sell my shit, but it's one of those things. It's like consolidation of calibers, and if it'll pay for my rent for 2 months, I can I can lose a couple of things that I'm never really gonna use outside of their cool wall hangers, you know. Oh, so the Camaro is heads, cam, intake, exhaust. Oh, very nice. Ooh, boosted. Get it boosted. You doing super? You doing Charger, or you doing Trubskis? Yeah, I was thinking about doing a local like outdoor forum and stuff. Problem is, like, I feel like those things don't get enough traction. Like, I want to sell this stuff quick. Is my only. So Daniel uses Texas Gun Trader. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to use that. Um, Local buy sell trade ad newspaper thingy. Okay. Yeah, I might hit the forums. I know that we have PA Defense League or some shit like that that usually has a forum. I might throw some stuff up on there. I may just also like, depending, because I am pretty good in with my local gun shop, and I know one of my shops near me down here is always looking for Russian shit. Like anything Russian, they're like, we will pay top dollar for Russian shit, because it just, for whatever reason, it just sells out the wazoo there. So some of that stuff I might just bring down there and see like what they offer me, because if I'm only losing out like 50, $75 on like, compared to like posting it and having to wait around for someone to reply and then go meet someone, like I'm willing to take a $50 hit on a gun, you know. But that is true. I could do the Facebook Marketplace and say I'm selling a gun case. That is true. I could do that. Hold on, guys. I gotta check on the dog real quick. She's being weird, but I'll be able to keep talking here. Just yeah, I could do that. It's not a bad idea actually. Just post on the local, like, oh, I am selling this here sling for 300 beans. Like, but we'll see what happens with that. So
I still think your best bet just selling it to your gun shop.
yeah, well, that's why I said, like, I might just, the biggest thing with selling it to a gun shop is because I, like, for a lot of these, I have ammo that goes with it that I'm not going to shoot before then. And I know my local gun shop doesn't buy ammo. So, like, I know when you sell something there, if you have ammo that goes with it, they won't buy it. So, like, my Argentine Mauser, right? Like, that was my zombie gun build. I don't expect to really get anything for that gun. The only thing that's really making that gun worth anything is the fact that I have like 60 rounds of ammo for it with stripper clips. Because the ammo is hard to find. So like it's more like, oh, I'm going to spend the money on the ammo and get the gun with it. Same thing with like my Nagant, my Nagant revolver actually is worth something, but like drive it to Chicago, I could. A couple of that shoe says leaning towards Pro Charger, trying to set in the 800 range, but fully charged for
Drove it to
1,000
drive
plus.
it to me.
What are we doing? What are we talking about?
So I was talking about with me having to move, I have to pay double rent for like 2 months, which sucks.
Yeah.
So to make up extra money to cover that, to give me like some comfort zone, I'm thinking about pulling a U and consolidating calibers and getting rid of like all my surplus shit that I don't shoot.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. You're talking about a high end market for surplus. You're talking about surplus being as high as it's ever been. There could be an end to that. Like it could bottom out. I mean,
it could. And like, I mean, I look at it and it's like, don't get me wrong, I love my Mosin, but like out of all my surplus guns, that and the Tokarev are the two I shoot the most. Like my SKS I shoot, but I don't really consider that. Technically it's surplus, but like that I'm keeping. But like
Yeah.
my Mosin, that would be the last one to go up on the cutting board. But like my Nagant revolver, it's cool. It's a great wall hanger. It's a great talking piece. I got a smoking deal on it. Never really enjoy shooting. I don't enjoy shooting it because it has a fucking 25-pound trigger or some shit.
Yeah,
it
I
sucks to
would
shoot.
bounce out on it.
Yeah, so it's like it's one of those things like that. My toke, I love shooting it, but again, it's one of those things like trying to find toke ammo for a decent price. No, not going to happen. And it's something that's desirable right now from a surplus standpoint. My little 32 Savage, it's a cool little gun. I dig it. I'm not going to buy another 32. I don't really have a purpose for 32. I might as well shoot the rounds I got for it and sell it because it'll just make me money. And then my zombie gun build, that Argentine Mauser, like the zombie gun build, it's not worth anything. Like, again, you're pretty much paying for the ammo that I have for it, and you're getting a gun out of it. So, like those are the four that I kind of threw up there because I ran numbers. I figured like my Yugo Tokarev, I could probably get around like 350 for it. Well, I'll probably throw it up for like if I throw like an arms list or something like that, I'll probably throw it for like 350 beans or best offer. My Argentine Mauser, if I could get two for it, I'd be ecstatic. Don't expect it, so it's going to be an or best offer. My Nagant revolver, those are going for over $400 all day long, which doesn't make sense to me. But I'm like, if I throw it up for $4, it should disappear. My Savage, those are
Is
going
it me
for.
or is he roboting real bad?
Am I roboting? Bjorn. Anyone?
Bjorn, he's roboting really bad. Angry's roboting really bad. Do you agree or no? Is it me? Okay, he's not here.
Forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, like, yeah, my thing is it's a good time to do that. I don't know if the bottom will ever drop out on surplus. Guns are pretty like safe bet in my opinion overall. The only thing that's taken that's a tank dive right now are like shotguns, and there's still people that will buy high end shotguns. So I don't know. It's just like the market for surplus is so saturated. Like there's so many people that want surplus right now because they're tired of everything else, and surplus is cool, and surplus is in Call of Duties. So there's like a bunch of that. So like there's a huge market, and if you want to get rid of it, I think it's a great time to do it. I think consolidating calibers is the way to go. We've talked about the end game. I don't know. I agree with you, and especially stuff that's like not even like tactical, like a Nagant revolver. Like it's when it was $100. Yeah, buy 10 of them and put them in a case. Like I get it maybe, but now that there's like
it's just
Taurus,
a collector's piece. Yeah.
But now that you can get Taurus G2Cs for $200 used or less, like the Nagant revolver to me is like null and void.
Well, plus trying to find ammo for the thing is fucking damn near impossible.
I mean, I saw a G2C for 170 today on Arms List, and it was like in good condition. Like you can't beat that. That's a reliable firearm that you can carry and use. So like I just when you're coming to a Nagant revolver, which is hard to find ammo, I mean, I get it's got its niche. It's a cool gun. But it's just I would agree with you.
Yeah, it's a collector's piece, and like again, like I don't want to lose. Like I'm sure it'll go up in value, and I'm gonna lose money. Like if I hold on to it for another 10 years, it'd be worth even more. But like right now, when I need the money, why not double what I paid for it? You know what I mean? So
yeah, I don't know. Mindset. I mean, they're gonna limit out. Like there's gonna be a limit. Like Nagants aren't gonna go up to $2,000. There's just no way.
No. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, I'm just trying to, again, like I don't want to lose stuff, but at the same point, it's like, at this point, might as well just get rid of it. And that's why I was thinking, like, because I don't even know what Arms List charges anymore to sign up for.
It's like I do it, and it's like I think it's $3 or $7 a month.
Oh, that's not bad then. Okay, that's
Yeah,
not bad.
I do it, and I just have. It's just for me, it's like a daily browse.
Yeah.
Like I love to be on there just because it's my favorite site to visit. It's like going to the gun shop. It's like you can just browse on there, and if you have a little bit of money set aside, you can usually pick up something really nice because there'll be someone that needs some cash,
Yeah.
and they're selling a gun at I need cash today prices, which is great for everyone. They win because they get instant cash. You win because you got a gun at a really decent deal. Um, there's all kinds of stuff, and somebody's got something offered at 500. Hey, we take 425 today. We take 450. I
Yeah.
mean, like those are reasonable offers. It's not anything crazy. Um, there's a way of negotiating and starting price. And hey, you're an hour away, but I'll drive to you if you'll take maybe a little bit less.
Yep.
Makes it convenient for them if they're like, yeah, sure, I'll meet you on my lunch break, and you'll drive down there because you got the day off. That's how you get some real wins on Arms List.
Yeah.
So I find that to be quite fun.
I might do that then because I'm gonna be after this week. I'm gonna be spending a lot of weekends, like almost all my next couple weekends. I'm gonna be up in Scranton at some point. So
Yeah,
I might just post everything up there, like get pictures taken this week, post everything up there for this weekend, and that way, if people hit me up or like, even if they hit me up while I'm back here, I can be like, hey, I'll be up there Saturday or Sunday. I'm in Philly right now, like traveling. I'll be up there Saturday, Sunday. Let's meet up a time and a place to meet. Boom.
yeah.
There
My
we go.
suggestion is the faster you meet, the better it goes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done some planning, like, hey, it doesn't work till Saturday, but I also would say, like, the longer the conversation you have with the individual, like, I always try and call them. Like, yeah, I start out in a text, but I'm like, hey, I'm going to give you a call. Can I call you? And like, if you have a short conversation, it usually you can feel out things like this is an illegal, this is an illegal
Yeah.
person
Is
trying
this
to
a
get me
real
to break the
person?
law,
Like,
or
yeah.
is this person legit, or no, this person is shady. I'm no longer meeting you. I'm blocking your number. Goodbye.
Yeah. And the thing is too, like, if it's worth the, like, again, like, if they want to buy my, Savage for $400 or something like that, right? Or 450 or whatever. And they're like, oh man, I can only meet on Wednesday. Like, guess what? I'll fucking shoot up on a Wednesday. Like, I'll leave work a little early. Like, work ain't gonna care because I can be on the road. I'll shoot up there. I'll like load up a couple boxes of shit I gotta bring up to the apartment anyways. I'll shoot up there, meet the guy, do the deal, unload the boxes, come back. Like, yeah, I have to spend money on gas and tolls and stuff, but like, whatever. I got a trip done in the meantime. It makes it worthwhile. Or I can just be like, with some of this stuff, once I get, because I'm going up this weekend to actually like get the place cleaned out and kind of organized, I can stash some stuff. Like I can stash this shit up there. In worst case scenario, like the long guns, I don't have to do a transfer on. Handguns in Pennsylvania, you have to. So
Yeah.
those I'll have to bring to whatever. But I'm gonna bring some of them up this weekend because I have to bring up some other stuff this weekend as well. Because one of my friends, I might end up doing a transfer with her on something else. She's not buying it. We're just doing a transfer. So, we'll see what happens. Though, real quick, I want to answer a couple that shoots. Been tossing around the idea of selling a couple high end to get the Pro Charger,
Thanks.
CZ, Benelli, Staccato, and Wilson. That should cover. Yeah, that should definitely cover it.
What's he wanting to sell to get what?
So he's building out his car with a supercharger. So he's selling like some Benelli, a CZ, a Staccato, and a Wilson to cover everything.
Oh my gosh,
that'll
high
cover.
End. That's just some high end stuff, man. I
Yeah,
mean, do what you got to do, but I mean, I'm sure he's got.
But again, like
just
kind of what you said, like Staccato and Wilson's, like they're great guns, but they're high. Like if you have other guns, like why not? If it helps you put in money into something else you want. Groundbird, how's it going?
I would agree. I mean, as much of high end stuff I enjoy, man, it's really hard to sometimes when you look at the nitty gritty, a PSA and I mean, even like a mid-tier, they're a lot alike.
Yeah, there's. I
You
mean,
know,
no,
if
I
you
get
put
it. Like
quality gear on it,
like
um,
yeah, like running a staccato if you're doing competitions or even like going to a range as a fun, like fucking great. And like I'm not saying you can't use it defensively. You absolutely 110% can, but like, are you going to want to carry your staccato every day? Maybe you are. Maybe you're that type of person that wants to. But it's one of those things. It's like, the shit hits the fan. Do you want to be the guy that's just running like a Glock that you're not really worried, or do you want to run the staccato and the Gucci
right.
AR? It's like, eh. So, I get
And
it.
and like I always say, get a $500 AR and spend $1,000 on ammo. Shoot and then bulk, spend and shoot 200 and shoot 500 rounds and save the rest. You'll probably be in a good place.
Yeah.
Getting it dialed in, getting some experience. Go to some training. Go train with somebody who's who knows their stuff to run you through some drills. Watch some YouTube videos. All that stuff is helpful. Sit in your room and do magazine reloads and changes and failures and all kinds of stuff like that. I mean, before you spend $2,000 on an AR that you never touch, never go outside with, and never run a mile.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Get some running shoes.
I might bring the stuff up this weekend too, because I'm gonna go to the local gun shop. I'm gonna hit because they have a range there. I'm gonna hit the range there and at least shoot the Savage before I sell it. But I might just see like what they offer me on it, because again, like as I was talking to Bjorn earlier and stuff, I was like, if they're coming in just slightly cheaper or something like that, like if I'm looking at $450 for the Savage, but they're like, oh, these are selling all day long for $550. We'll give you $4 for it. I'll be like, okay, I'll take the $50 hit to not have to worry about listing it and meeting people and all that shit. Like that's fine. I don't care. It still gets me to my goal.
Where are you gonna take it?
My local gun shop. Yeah. Like same thing with the Nagant. Like if they're gonna sell that Nagant for crazy money because they're selling like crazy online, they're like, oh, we'll give you $50 difference or something. Like, okay, sure, here you go, have fun. The only thing that sucks with that is the ammo, but I think I only got like half a box of ammo left anyway, so I might just shoot that through it and just be like, we'll see. I gotta see how much ammo I got for it, to be fair. But yeah, so we'll see.
You can list ammo on there as well.
That's true. I could sell the ammo separately.
On arms list.
That's true. I could.
Or just sell it with the gun on arms list.
Yeah. Well, like the
That's
Argentine
always a kicker
Mauser,
for
like
me
that,
to get a little bit more money.
Yeah, like the Argentine Mauser, I'm selling the ammo with it because that gun's really, you're paying again because that was the zombie gun build, so it's all butchered up. You're paying for the ammo and the stripper clips, and you're just like getting the gun with it essentially. But yeah, same thing probably with the Nagant, like the Toke maybe. I gotta see again how much ammo I got for it and everything, but I was trying to sweeten the pot with a box of ammo. Like when I sold my Hellwan, like I sold that in 2020 with a box of ammo, and the guy was like ecstatic because at that point like 9mm was like $1 a round or whatever. So I was like, oh yeah, I got a 50-round box of ammo with it. Like it was just like a spare 50-round box of like steel cased ammo. He's like, oh yeah, that and the gun, sure thing. Like, all right.
Yeah, and that's a real sweetening in the honey pot with that, because a lot of people aren't like you and I and Matt and our other buddies who know that like you gotta have a ton of ammo for it to mean something. There's a bunch of people sitting at home with guns with 2 boxes of ammo and they think they got a ton. All right.
Yep.
They're like, I got 100 rounds here, and we're like, 100 rounds ain't gonna last me one night with the zombies, baby.
100. That's why, like, I forget who I was talking to. This was years ago. I was talking to someone years ago, and they're like, oh, you want to go out to the range? I'm like, no, I got money for that. And they're like, it doesn't cost anything to go to the range. I'm like, yes, it does. I'm like, I got to buy ammo for everything. So you want me to bring this gun, this gun, this gun, this gun? And they're like, oh, yeah, just, like, buy a box of ammo for each. I'm like, you don't seem to understand. Like, a box of ammo for each one of those guns lasts me 10 minutes, maybe. Like, probably 5. I'm like, so I buy a 50-round box of 9 this was like during COVID. I'm like, I buy a 50-round box of 9 That's $50. I buy a box of 223, 50 rounds. That's what were those going for then? Like 60, $70, like something like
Mhm.
crazy like that. I'm like, so I'm already over 100, and that's 2 boxes of ammo. I'm like, and then you want me to buy a box of it was like 380 or 38 or something, and I'm like, no, like I'm not spending a couple $100 to go to the range to shoot for
Yeah.
literally a half an hour.
They're not free.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't seem to understand. When I buy, like when I go to the range, I have to bring several hundred rounds of ammo with me. I'm not just like one box and like, oh, just one box will last me the entire day. Like, no, it's like a 20-minute trip.
Yeah, I bring like 500
now,
rounds. I bring like 500 rounds to
yeah.
the range.
Now, if I'm going to like
And
state
it
game
hurts.
land out here, yeah, sure, because they restrict you on everything. But so you're reloading every 3 seconds. But I'm like normal range, no. Like
Yeah.
I gotta bring like 500 rounds at least for a range day.
Yeah, that hurts. It really does hurt.
Yeah, and it's expensive, especially. I mean, even now it's still expensive. Like, never mind back then. So I'm like, yeah. I'm good. So, Roland Tripp was asking, where is Duke at on getting a suppressor? I still say they will be priceless if it hits the fan.
Okay, so I have a buddy who is into suppressors, and we're going together to go get mine, and I think he's using me as an excuse to get like his fourth or fifth one. So we're going to a kiosk. He keeps saying the kiosk, which I think is like a one-stop shop. Like they do everything at the shop at a kiosk thing, and it sends all your information. And so,
yeah,
I'm committed to making that step happen. I'm going to hold off on continuing just to buy more guns, and I'm going to take a break and start upgrading guns and gear. And I think I'm gonna either get I know I'm gonna get a suppressor. And I think I'm gonna get a ballistic helmet and start out with like a good light on it. I don't know yet. I haven't decided on the gear. I have decided 100% on the suppressor. There's a suppressor he was telling me about that will go on 5.56, 7.62, and 9mm. And that's not that crazy to get something like that that'll go on. And pretty much what I want it for is like an AR setup and like a Glock. That's really all I want it for. Is that I want it to be able to go on both of those. If it achieves that, that's really what I want.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I'm a horrible impulse buyer, so I do love buying guns, but like I still want to get an AK. I still want to get a 308 like semi-auto. But outside of that, like there's really not any. Again, like I impulse buy like crazy, but there's no like guns that I'm like, oh, I really need this right now. And I'd love to. I still don't know how I feel about the whole suppressor thing, but I would like to start upgrading gear. Like I would like to get, some better optics, some better lights. Like I want to make sure all my handguns with rails have lights for them, holsters for them. Like, I mean, they already all have holsters, but I want to make sure if they have light attachments, they have a holster for the light attachment. Would like to get some threaded, like now I have a couple Glocks. I'd like to get threaded barrels for those just in case. If I do want to, even if it's just comp it or something like that down the line, I want to start upgrading some shit. So.
I think I'm going to start getting more ammo for my AR.
Yeah, I want to start buying more ammo. Now that I'm going to have a house again, I can actually start stocking up on ammo. So that'll be nice because right now in my apartment, I have no place to fucking put, like, I don't have room for ammo. So now that I'm going to have a house again, I have room. I can start restocking that ammo supply. Like, that'll be nice to go get myself consolidate kits a little bit more. I want to make sure all my kits are squared away because I have several kits so far, and like some of them are just kits for more like, oh, stuff's going down. Here's a rifle, here's a handgun, here's a chest rig. But I want to start consolidating stuff to make sure they're actually like decent, halfway decent kits. maybe some more armor, maybe some night vision.
Oh, I don't know.
So
Should
we'll see.
I have for my main gun for bug out stuff is a CZ75. Should I keep it as is, or should I get a different gun for that?
I mean, it depends on what you like. If you like your CZ75 and you're comfortable with your CZ75, run your CZ75. Um,
Well, depend. Wait, say. I mean, I guess I can take a gun off if that really got that bad, you know.
yeah. Daniel says 45 cans are so fun. Yeah, I shot a 45 can when I was out in Arizona. It is very nice. Buying a suppressor sucks. You spend money now and then you get it way later. That's my biggest pain in the ass. Is like if I spend money on something, I want it now, or I want to be able to see that I'm getting it. Like if I give someone money, like let's say I have a bike or something, like hey, I want you to build my bike. Here's money. Like I want to be able to come by and see, like, oh, here's my bike being processed. Like I don't want to just be like, oh, here's money, and then be like, oh, someday I'll get my product. Like that's why I don't put down payments on like cars or something like that, like the Tesla truck or something. Not that I would want a Tesla truck necessarily, but you know what I mean. Like,
No, I was thinking either buy a Glock, something more common, you know.
I mean, it's always good to have a. I mean, I know
I
it's
don't.
a generic answer, but it's and this is coming from someone that did not like Glocks for a long time. I just couldn't get around them. But the realization, I was like, everyone's running Glocks. I might as well have one. And now
Well, the way I kind of thinking is, I think about just 3D printing the logo and just build my own.
couple that she says Olay is a savage about getting and storing ammo, but I'm like, come on, let's get this or that. And getting nods is awesome. Yeah, I want to get. I don't know if I want to get night vision. If I want to get, thermal is definitely impressive to me, just because I've seen some people run thermal and I really do dig it. But I also like night vision, so like I just want to start looking into some stuff and potentially get a setup because I want to get a helmet with the setup. At least I'd love buys, but at least a monocle. And then, kind of see where it goes from there. So, but that's something that'll probably be on the list for this year. It all depends again with the move, consolidating debt. If I end up getting a bike, depends how much I end up throwing into the car this year and stuff, and how sales and everything go this year, how much I end up racking in commission. So we'll see what happens. But
I mean, I like my CC, but I think I want a common gun, you know.
yeah, I get that. And like, I was that way for a long time. Like, I love my C250, and thankfully they came out with the 320. So, and 320s are more prevalent now. So, like, 320 mags are pretty common, especially with military adoption. So, like, 250s will take 320 mags all day long. But for a long time, I was like, fuck, I made a bad choice. I should have really just bought a Glock.
Get the magazines, get loaded up, you know.
Yeah. And that's that's the thing. Like when you're trying to buy a CZ mags. Sorry guys, I gotta take the dog out. I'll be on the phone. I'll be on the headset here. I just gotta fucking take her outside because she's getting to be a bitch. But yeah, I mean the thing with CZs is like, again, they're great, but you're gonna be spending a lot of money to stack up on mags. They're not gonna be as common. I mean, CZ75 is still pretty common, but it's not as common as a Glock.
Yeah, well, that's what I kind of think. If I go and set up for like shit hit the fan, I might as well get something more common, you know.
Yeah, and I mean the nice thing too is like you can still keep the CZ. Like I mean, potentially, unless you planned on trading it in for a Glock, but
yeah, I'm gonna keep it. I like my CZ.
Yeah, I was gonna say like keep the CZ, and then you can still just run. You're gonna have to let me know if Duke or anyone hops in if they're in the back room because I don't have. Obviously, we're taking the dog out. Can't let them in, so just let them know. Like, hey, it might be a minute or two.
Well, I have I need to work on my AR-15. I need to get more magazines for that.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
I only have. I seem to say I only have one magazine for it.
Oh Jesus, yeah, you definitely need more. Especially with how cheap they are.
Yeah, I just built it over the summertime, and I just try and find a job and things like that. But con.
Yeah. I mean, like when I built mine, my first one, I didn't have a ton of money, and I bought a bunch of GI ones, and I just ran GIs for a long time, and then I started buying Magpul ones, and even now, like if I find like decent GI ones, I'll buy them just because I'm like, oh, I'll pack these away and like I'll throw them in a kit or something like that. I'll load them up, and so I have good coverage on that side, like with loaded ones, but I need more just extra 223 or whatever. But
And I have another AR-15 strip lower waiting to be built. I don't know what I want to turn that into.
I'd like to build one more just because, like, I want to build a more because like the first one I built was more of a modern clone, and then I have my braced one, and then my other one I have is more of like a, I won't say retro, but it's like a 90s build is the best way to put it. And so I want to build another like more modern one that's carbine length or maybe in full. I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
Well, anyway, that's where I stand right now. On, like I say, there is gun. I mean, my ZZ, my second handgun in 9mm, I can shoot the best.
Yeah.
My first one, I love it, but however, in my Luger, that, and I'm not going to use it for it jam. It can jam a lot, depending on the ammo. So
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one. Like, I guess you could say like surplus that I'm not getting rid of. Is I'm also because I just bought it. I'm not getting rid of that P38 because at least that's still in something that's a usable current day, easily accessibly to find
yeah,
caliber, and two, it came with 3 mags, so at least it has like capacity is not there, but at least I have mags for it.
yeah.
Unlike my other stuff where it's like 1 mag, 2 mags, like
I found out that Luger love Federal ammo, Federal and few another brand, and it 100% liability. But if I were to
Really,
get something cheap, it will still fight for me quite a bit. It
really.
might want a mag or two find and every now and then, but Federal it
Does,
love.
does it get dirty super easy?
Not too bad.
No, oh, that's good.
And it like Federal, it like the NATO stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But anyway, I mean that gun I can shoot. I can shoot someone 50 yards away with that Luger.
Well, yeah, because it's fixed barrel and stuff.
Hit them in the head, you know.
But
I got pretty good type groups out that the gun that the gun I shoot the best, but however, not practical for a shithead,
not unless you're like a warlord. But
But for
I
a
mean that's
for a shithead, I want something reliable where it don't matter what ammo I put in it, it going function.
yeah. No, I get that. And I mean that's why I'm trying to again consolidate stuff because like if stuff did go off, all the things I'm getting rid of would have been stuff I just handed out to other people anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, yes, I'm losing the ability to hand stuff out to other people, at least a couple people. But in the long run, it would not have been like my closest people that I handed that out to. It would have been more of like a trading or like a, oh, here's Joe Bob who lives in apartment 5, So if I can make some money off the stuff now, because like originally when I bought the stuff, I bought because I'm like, oh, this is cool, and at the time it was relatively cheap, and it was all like a different time, and I was like, oh yeah, like this is cool, something cheap, and it's fun. I can probably make money off this, and so
Yeah, Duke is back.
He is okay. Tell him I'll be there in like 3 minutes. Just waiting on the dog still. I figured because I knew he was driving. I figured he just texted me. He's like, I'm back.
Yeah.
So as soon as I get the dog inside, I'll probably be like 3 minutes here. He's being a pain in the ass. But uh, but yeah, so I would go with something more. And again, like I'm not like when I bought this stuff, I bought it as something that I'm like down the road. I know it's gonna just go up in value, and I can trade in and make money on. And so
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna do. And like, granted, I would love to trade it into other stuff and get other cool gear and whatever out of it. But if I can't, I can't. And if it helps me pay my bills for 2 months, cool. I'm okay with that.
Yep. I like the P38, but I like and the Lugos. But they both getting to the point where they're the same price now.
Yeah, which is insane. It's
I bought my Luga as a millions 60s or 70s a modern reproduction made by Bowser, made by Switch Machines. I think I tell you this before.
yeah.
But anyway, I bought it so I can file it. Shit, all I want, I do have another World War II vintage Luga at my dad's. My dad's, but it would be mine. So
All right.
I don't feel guilty of overshooting that,
Yeah.
Even though I know how to work on Lugos, I learned to.
Let's add Dookie back in.
The only thing they pain in the ass is change the bills on it.
Yeah.
You're back.
I'm back, baby. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think you'll be able to get things out of it. I think it's something you have to do. So I think it all makes sense.
Yeah.
They're not mainstay. It's not like you're selling, like a carry gun. You're not selling like something that would be really useful.
And they're not like family
handout
heirlooms or anything like that either, too. Because like if that was the case, I wouldn't be selling them. They're just
Well,
cool shit I found when they were cheap, and I'm like, why not?
Well, I haven't sold some high end stuff just to get really good stuff. So, I mean, that's what my opinion was. I was on the line of, okay, well, yep, it's 100 years old, but it don't mean shit. So it ain't gonna mean shit when shit means real. So I don't know. I got a different view on that now than I did. So I just think we're headed in a direction, regardless of whatever you think. I think we're headed in a rough area. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's full blown. I don't know if it's just a few rough years. But I know for sure people aren't going to take to change well at all. And I want to make sure that I'm ready and I'm set and I have what I need. And I think that's the biggest game changer.
100%. So
yeah.
I'm just going through the chat here real quick. Roland says, Angry, when you travel a decent distance from your home, how many mags do you have for your pistol and or rifle? So if I'm traveling north, I usually throw my SHTF bag in there. And so I have it's 9mm, so it's a 9mm carbine with the pistol. So it's 5 mags, and then for the pistol, so let me rephrase that. 1 mag in the carbine, 4 extra mags. 1 mag in the pistol, 2 extra mags. And that's on that kit. And then I have my concealed carry as well, which usually I just have a spare mag with. Daniel says I usually just buy the Mech-R mags for the CZ75. I think they're like 20-ish. Oh, see, that's not bad. I'm used to like CZ price mags, which are insane.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing under 8 mags. On me, I have 3. All times. Car is different. Car has 8 mags, and then for the rifle setup, that's 8 mags as well, with the get home bag.
Yeah.
So
so
that's my opinion. I think I'm 100% a believer in having magazines on you and with you because you'll need them. I think carrying I know some people say, "Oh, you're probably going to shoot 2 rounds," until you don't. Until you have a situation where you need more ammunition and I'm just not going to be in that position where I wish I had more. That's why I carry a lot. I carry 3 mags, and they're 3 17-round mags. So
yeah, for me, like right now, 9 times out of 10, if I'm driving up north, I'm carrying my APX carry, so that's a single stack. But so that I only carry a spare mag for, but that's like in the actual like driver's compartment with me, and then in the trunk I got the kit, so it's the actual like gear because it's the pouches with the mags. So I have the 4 mags, and then I also have a medical there. I have lights, I have maps, I have all that good stuff all on the kit. Plus I have the carbine with the light and the mag in it, and they're all Glock mags, so they're just longer. There's the 33 rounder Glock mags. And then I have the Glock on a belt with an extra knife and another flashlight. And so that has the mag and the gun and plus 2 extra mags. So I'm like, that's more of like, okay, like I run into like situations we were talking to weeks, I don't even know how many weeks ago we talked about our last situation, but like you're driving down the road and all of a sudden you hit a roadblock and you need to go on foot. Like that's my, okay, like I got to gear up for going, hiking through the woods or whatever to get to wherever I need to go.
Yep.
So, and I'd love to have a rifle set up for that, but for the compactness and what I utilize for carrying all that stuff to make it very nonchalant, that little AK carbine works well.
Oh, I think that's a great option. And I think it even, in a sense, in my opinion, it doubles in its value in some ways because it makes like, let's say you carry that and a 9mm pistol. Well, now you have only one kind of ammo you're carrying.
Yep.
And I think that there's a lot to be said for that in that kind of scenario where you're running around and you're not, this is a whole different world now. And carrying stuff is heavy and takes more energy and makes you burn more energy, that you may not have and things like that. So I think that that's a really good way of thinking. When I argue sometimes that I don't like carbines, when you can carry like a 5.56 in a similar pattern, but then you have scenarios like that where you're only carrying one kind of ammo and it's lighter. And 9mm in a rifle or in like a rifle carbine setup will probably do what you need to do in most urban scenarios.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We're like, yeah. So I think it's a
on
good
that,
argument.
I think it's like a 10.5-inch barrel, so like it's got plenty of push behind it.
Yeah, like I have a PSA pistol, AR pistol with that. It's that like Mark 19 kind of old school setup. That's one of my favorites. I plan on putting the suppressor on that eventually. And
see, that would
maybe
be my backup is like an AR pistol. And like the only reason I do is because my current AR pistol, like that sits at home most of the time. I have that set up in another like to go kit. Like if stuff goes down, like that's kind of my go-to kit. So
yeah, and I think that setup with a Glock is like the best to go to, in my opinion. I just like that setup. I like the way it looks and feels and how it operates. I just think that it's far above par when it comes to dealing with situations.
It's readily available mags, and it's easy to acquire if I need to, and I can run it and the mags are compatible between both guns, so that's great. So
and
next item, when you're not late, you're just arriving with style.
See, that's another thing. Your magazines are the same. Look, think about that. That's a huge factor right there. That's why I think that those Ruger PC carbines were kind of cool that could take Glock mags. Again, running the same mag means carrying less weight in that scenario. So, especially when we talk about those scenarios where you're on foot, you're running around, you may not go home. Things may change. You may have to go somewhere else. Going home may not be an option. You may just be continuing to move. Home might be where bad things are going on. Depending on where you're at. So that changes it for me.
Yeah. X Adam 1 says, I travel. I have my carry gun with 2 mags in my vehicle. I have my AR with 2 mags too. If I had to walk due to some car issues, I want to be able to put it in my backpack and continue on my way. Yeah, exactly.
If I was going to get a Vigo gun, I think I want to make myself a AR-15 with a stock fold, and then you can remove the barrel takedown.
One of those takedown ARs, yeah.
To make it really compact, and
Yeah, that's true. Rolling Trip says carry P365 with 3 spare mags in the cabin, gun belt with P10C and 2 spare mags, a 14.5 AR with suppressor and 5 AR mags, as well as a med kit in a bag. Yeah, so I got my, on top of my Go, or like my SHTF bag, deploying that, I then also have my get home bag, so I can just throw the kit on, throw the get home bag on over it, and then
Yeah.
go on my way.
And I think the guys that are talking about backpacks, I think that's really the way to go. Because I think that on day 1 or 2, if you're running around in a full kit with your nods on and your helmet and your and your ballistic vest and your $2,000-$3,000 AR, I think someone's going to shoot you in the face.
Yeah.
Like, so they're going to surprise you because you're going to like, and maybe I don't know, maybe you're in the woods and you're running around and they can't catch you. But I think if you walk around in an urban environment with stuff that attracts attention, much less just people wanting to come up to you and ask you what's going on, because obviously you look like a guy who knows what's going on because you have camo on, or you know what I mean, and you have a kit on, which is going to make people think you're a cop or in the army or something like that, which could be a problem when you don't want to attract attention. I don't think at all, especially in that time where you could attract the wrong attention, which is, hey, I got nothing but Grandpa's old single shot shotgun. I'm going to hide underneath his coat, walk up to this guy and act like I'm sick and hurt, and he's going to run up to me and I'm going to shoot him in the face and take all of his stuff. I think that's going to happen a lot. So I think not doing that is better.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a good kind of situation set up there. So yay.
I need to work on re-apping my bug out stuff.
Yeah, I haven't actually gone through my bags in a while. I got to do that after I move. Probably once I get everything situated, I'll drag everything out and
I took mine apart, so I have
to.
Think of time to just redo it, totally.
Yeah.
The thing when you need something for camping or whatever, I just take it from the bug out back and don't put it back, So I think it's about time to rebuild it,
No,
I guess
it's good.
Yeah, so my question is to you then, I guess. What is the safest way to have money right now? Is it cash? Is it gold? Is it silver? Is it bullets? Is it if you had money, would you just keep the money right now, or would you put it into something else? What would you do in what we're going through right now? What would you do?
That's tough. If I just had cash laying around right now, let's say I have just $1,000 in cash, that's a tough decision. Part of me says I would want to put in precious metals, but I also have to look at what that cash is going to be used for and least common denominator. I know for a long time we sat there, and I'm not going to knock anyone that invests in gold and silver. I want to invest more in gold and silver. I'd love to do that in the new year just because I think it's always nice to have. But I think your average Joe, if you're like, oh, here's an ounce of gold, they're going to go, what the fuck am I going to do with this? They're not going to know what that's worth. They have no idea.
And that's honestly, the last year or 6 months has really shown me that it's not an end-all be-all. Gas or gold and silver should be going through the roof right now, and it's not.
It's not.
And I think it's a lot of reasons. I think some of it's controlled that way. They don't want it to go through the roof. But this is why you get gold and silver, to hedge off inflation, and it's not working, which makes me more concerned than anything, because gold and silver should be doing very well. And anybody who I talk to who owns pawn shops will tell me they can't even hang on to gold and silver bullion and silver dollars because everyone is buying it all up. But then why is not the price continuing to show that? Overall, why isn't it going up like it should, especially with just inflation? It should be going up, and it's not. And I think that drastically changes my thought on, is that a viable option as a prepper, as someone that wants to be ready financially? Is that even an option anymore?
But
Yeah. So
I
like,
have you
go ahead.
saw my silver. I have a big silver, whale. Yeah, you saw that last week, right?
Yeah.
That stuff went up. About last time I bought that stuff it went up $20 5 years
I,
from 5 years ago. So it went up.
yeah. I mean, I look at it as like, spend a little bit of money on like precious metals. Absolutely. Um, but I think it should be going to things that are going to, when society collapses, actually be tenure or some sort of trade. So like, kind of like what Roland Tripp says, like, put into food, put into security stuff, put into seeds, books, education, skills. Like, if you just have $1,000 laying around, you're like, oh, what do I spend with that? Like, should I just stuff it in?
I
Again, I say put a little bit of it into stuff like precious metals and things like that, because that stuff will continue to go up. And I say even, stick around for a little bit of cash. Like, and I know that's kind of uncommon to say, but like, it's always good to have a little bit of cash on you, because especially during those early times before people realize like, oh, shit's really gone down. Like, the common Joe Blow, if you're like, oh, here's $50 in cash, like, let me pass. They're gonna go, okay, like, not realizing that in 5 weeks that's gonna be worth toilet
nothing.
paper. Yeah. So it's always good to have a little bit of cash on you. Plus, too, like, none of us know when this is gonna hit, right? So it's always good to have a little bit of cash that you can always, like, if something does happen where it's like, times get tough, you can kind of bounce back on it. It's always good to have that. But I agree, like, put into skills, education. Like, one of the things I want to start looking at now that I'm going to have a house, I got to check and see what the yard situation looks like with the new place. But I know in the township I'm moving to, you're allowed to have chickens. I would love, especially with the price of eggs right now, would love to get a couple chickens because I love eggs and I don't want to spend six
Shit
bucks
bucks.
for a dozen eggs. Yeah.
I
I,
eat so many eggs a day, and now that is becoming like quite an issue. I
Yeah.
love to eat eggs. I eat
I
eggs
I used
like
to
I eat hard
until
boiled eggs. I eat scrambled eggs. I can eat a bunch of eggs, and that is just my thing. And now they're like $6 a dozen, dude. That's crazy.
yeah, it's insane. I used to love eating eggs because they were the cheap option. Like I could get a dozen eggs for like $1.50, and it was
Yeah,
like, cool. I got enough. Like I buy two of those crates for $3, and I'm like, I got enough eggs to last me the entire week. Because I used to eat eggs with a lot. Like I do lean ground turkey and eggs, rice and eggs. Like I eat a shit ton of eggs because pretty low calorie for what they are. Good protein source, good fats. Like, and now it's insane. Like now I can't
yeah,
even buy them because I'm like, it's not worth the price.
like
Um,
yep.
this year, I'm going to do chickens anyway.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like looking at getting some chickens because I'm like, worst case scenario, if I don't eat all the eggs, I guarantee I can fucking sell them to people and still make a killing.
And you
Um,
can eat the chicken too when they get older.
that too.
And
X Adam one says drugs will also be a great bartering tool for those who already do them. People's vices become luxury. So, not telling people to go out and buy drugs, but I agree with what he's saying, like vices. So, like I know Duke in the past, you buy those little alcohol things. I buy like whenever I'm at the
Oh,
dollar
yep.
store or something like that, I'll buy like a thing of coffee because I know if shit goes down, like having coffee, like instant coffee, that'll be huge for people. Like stuff like that. Um,
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
suggest
big
like
into
buying
the
cigarettes because
alcohol,
cigarettes are super expensive. But like,
and
I don't know.
unless you store them, they'll
Yeah,
go bad. So
I
I do
like
the
yeah. So like,
alcohol things because I think that's the best thing to do, and it's such a small. Like I don't want to trade like a full bottle of Jack Daniels, but I would love to trade
the
like
little shooters. Yeah,
the little shooter things, the little like
pocket
airplane
rocket.
whatever. Yeah, the little airplane, ones where they sell you on the airplane. Like that's the kind of stuff in the small quantity that I want to be like, hey man, I got 3 of these. I'll trade you this for this. That kind of a deal.
yeah. Especially when
Um,
people are depressed, they'll trade you a lot of stuff for just having a couple drinks so they can have one night of peace.
Uh,
Um,
yeah.
when my dad called them pocket rockets, the little jugs.
Rolling Trip says I
Oh
got
yeah.
hens laying eggs right now. Yeah, I wish I did.
I have
Hey man,
I have honeybees, so
that's another thing. Like something like that. Like anything where you can have some residual source of, even if it's like, and again, it's going to depend on where you live and time of year and stuff, but like a small garden. Like I can't wait to build a small, when I was in Arizona, I had a small garden in our backyard. I grew peppers and I grew basil. Um, and I tried to grow parsley, but I didn't really take care of it that well. So, which I didn't take care of the other ones, but they survived somehow. But like, I can't wait to have my own garden again because it doesn't cost really anything to get started. It's pretty damn cheap to get started, and you can fucking like, you got stuff that'll last you a long time. Like I remember my basil plant, that thing I planted. So I started that garden in, I think it was April or May of 2020. I think it was May of 2020 because I was like, oh, I'm bored. I just want to see what happens. Like, I don't expect anything to live through the summer. And like, I did not take care of that thing. Like, I watered it maybe every other day, like whatever. That thing produced peppers and basil year round for me. Like, it got to the point where there's so much basil, I could not make enough pesto and can enough pesto to like fucking, like, it still like would outgrow what I could utilize the stuff for. So something like that's fantastic. Um, so I can't wait to have a small garden again, hopefully, at the new place. So we'll see. But anything like that, I would say, would be great sources to invest into. And again, like defense, um, education, books, read up on how to do stuff. Like if you don't know how to do basic, engine or car repair, so like read up on how to do that stuff. Even if you don't know how to do basic carpentry stuff, read up on that stuff, how to maintain a garden, medical, whatever it may be. Like books are cheap. Go buy a book, read it, and like, well, I say books are cheap. For the most part, books are cheap. A lot of your skill books are cheaper. Like read up on that stuff, and then if you can, practice that stuff as much as possible with that extra money.
Nice.
But Rolling Trips is looking forward to a large garden this year. Luckily, I bought a small JD tractor to make large rows for crops. That'll be awesome. Yeah. And it's good boarding too. It's like if you're, so when it comes to fruits and vegetables and stuff like that too, again, depending on how much you're growing, how big your family is, how much you're eating, stuff like that. Like for me, again, with what I was growing, I was overgrowing for what I could utilize. So I got into can. That's what kind of started me into canning. Was I got into, and I want to still get a pressure canner. Like I was doing canning the old way with the heat baths and everything, which limits you on what you can and can't can. But that's another skill set to get into. Like start learning how to can, preserve your own shit, like your leftovers and stuff. Like it's awesome. It's not that expensive to get into it, so. But yeah. Hold on a second. What are you doing? Eating a cheeseburger or something?
Sorry, I'm sorting parts.
It's all good, man. I'm supposed to start packing tonight stuff, but I bought boxes. I just don't know where I want to actually start boxing up yet, so. The struggles of moving, like figuring out what can stay and what can go.
I'm dying in my house. I'm never moving again.
no.
You would be surprised what you can find at yard sales in regards to books. Wife paid $25 for a survivalist book. Yeah. I used to go to, yard sales, flea markets, those are great places. You can get stuff real cheap. Even the, was it the Goodwill? Yeah, it was the Goodwill I used to go to. And like the one near my place now kind of sucks. Their books, it does suck for their book selection. Something a lot of people around here read. But like where I used to live in Arizona, their book selection was huge. So I would buy a shit ton of books for that for like nothing, like a couple bucks a piece. And these are books that were originally like, $26 or whatever, and they're like, $3.
Deal. Like Honda.
Oh, Lead Laced Anarchy says it's Ohio Patriot's birthday. Well, happy birthday, Ohio Patriot. You live in Ohio, so I know it's rough, but happy birthday, good sir. Rowan Trip says you can do that in 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah.
Tim Allen says it sounds like Duke's messing with Legos. Maybe. He might be messing with Legos. Either that or he's trying to build a shrine to Momo.
Yeah, I wish. No, I put a Lego together yesterday. I took him to the store, picked up a Minecraft Lego. He had together on his own, and I kind of orchestrated. I think I helped.
The robots are taking Duke over.
Oh, yeah.
The robots have come for Duke.
Mobile have.
They're here to take him away.
Mobile have came.
X-Adam1 says, I just picked up my 1022 barrel. It was threaded for my suppressor. Can't wait to shoot it tomorrow. Also picked up a CTR stock and Strikes Industries Ford Assist for a great price. Nice. Well, congratulations. Raffine says, why does it bug me so much that I can't super chat? Believe me, it bugs me too that people can't super chat, but I need more YouTube subscribers. Yeah. So I forget if it's 1,000. I think it's 1,000 you get super chats. So once I hit 1,000 raw feeding, you will be able to super chat.
Oh, 1,000.
Yeah, Mad Mark says it's so fucking weird calling you Mad Mark. I'm sorry. Especially with the old logo, it's like it's messing with my head.
I know. I so used to call him Honda.
Yeah. Lead Laced Anarchy says only getting rougher now that Dems and Rhinos are teaming up and choosing the new speaker last week. Yeah, it's gonna get spicy soon. One says I thought about doing 30-minute chats just to get used to it. Yeah. Yeah, good times ahead. Yeah, 20. I mean, we can make, what was it? The Roaring 20s? Like, when did the Depression end? Was that 19? Jesus, I should know this. My history should. I agree, Raw Feeding. His logo does need to be an angry face cartoon now. Because it's just thrown me for a loop. But hopefully Duke will come back. But
he probably will.
Yeah, I mean, I figure it's the 20. Like, I just expect every year to be worse than the next. So we'll see what happens. But hopefully this year will be. Things will turn the tide, but we'll see what happens. You can only see what happens. But that being said, I know we've been going for about 1:20 now, just shy of 1:20. We'll probably go for about another 10 minutes or so, and then I'm probably going to call it because I do have some work stuff I got to handle later on tonight, and then I'd love to figure out what the fuck I'm going to put in these boxes. I bought 3 boxes. I have no idea what I'm going to put in them yet. I know I had multiple boxes when I moved in here, and I forget what all I stashed in them. So maybe I'll start taking shit off the walls, like put all the wall stuff in a box or something. At least Anarchy says, ask Soulless Ginger, him and Ohio Patriot. We're talking about the insanity at the Ohio State House in the past 7 days. Over 20 Republicans now have been censored for their vote. Jesus Christ.
His logo needs to be off.
Very office space of you. Every day is worse than the day before. That's how I feel like every single one of these years is. Like we look back at 2020, at the end of 2020, we're like, oh, it can't get worse. And then it just consecutively, like each year, tried to outbeat the year before. And it's just like, everyone's like, "Oh no, 2021, it's gonna all end in 2022 came. It was like, haha, fuck you." And then 2023 showing up, it's like, oh, we don't know what's gonna happen, but I can guess. Ron Tripp says his logo needs to be a barking chihuahua. How about that?
Man Mark changes. Picture.
I can't even tell what it is, but it's
I
also
can't
just
tell.
tiny. But 7 years of tribulation. No, the purge law state is Illinois, isn't it? Illinois. Yeah, Illinois. Ohio is just criminals in both parties and massive corruption. Yeah, plus you got, it's Ohio, so you got, all the fun cities. But your river's on fire. Have fun with that. I do enjoy going and watching you guys play football, though, just because it's debauchery on a world-ending scale. So it's always fun. But Ohio, the land of poor white people. It really is. Isn't that what Dave Chappelle says? Because Dave Chappelle's from Ohio, right? Isn't he like, I'm surrounded by poor whites? That's Ohio. Like you can barely tell. Like I remember when I was driving back here because I took a different route. I went from, is it Cincinnati? That's right on the border there of like Pennsylvania and West Virginia. But like I went from there and I had to cut into West Virginia for all of like maybe 20 minutes, if that. And I was like, I can't really tell the difference. And I just happened to look down and I was like, oh, this looks like meth and coal mines, not just meth. So, okay. I must be in West Virginia. And then sure as shit, it's like, West Virginia, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, this now makes sense. And then I was in Pennsylvania. But since 1978, they fixed the cesspool river. I can't say much. Our Susquehanna River's a shithole. Like, I'm pretty sure there's mutated
Probably still is. With 3 eyes and all that.
Yeah, like our river. Well, one of our main rivers back home is disastrous. What's up, Exit 343? So, Matter Mark 420 says, Angry, do you think a big bore revolver is better than a semi-auto 10mm for a woods gun in the lower 48? Depends on what you're comfortable with. And that's the reason I say that is like for lower 48, 10mm is probably going to handle anything that you need. Like, honestly, I mean, there's some areas where you might want to step up to 44 mag, but even like if I'm going to go revolver, like 357 mag is going to handle pretty much anything that I need in lower 48. So being 10mm, comparable, depending on obviously like barrel lengths and all that stuff and what loads you're using, yada 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 yada. Once you start stepping up there in revolvers, you're losing capacity. You're really capping yourself at 6 rounds. So it really comes down to what you're comfortable with. Like me myself, I'm gonna carry my 357 because that's what I got. But like if I had access to a 10mm, I'd probably for most of the lower 48 carry a 10mm. That'd be fine. If I had access to a comfortable 44 mag that didn't weigh a ton, I might go with that instead. Especially if I know I'm gonna be in like bear country. But yeah, it really just kind of comes down to preference. Like I love revolvers. I love the nostalgia of revolvers, but I understand why someone would want to carry a 10mm over a revolver because you get a little bit more capacity. So I get it. Exit 343. Yes, we talked about the price of eggs, not so much chicken. I haven't seen like chicken prices. Well, they're up from, what they were a year ago when I moved here. They're not up as high as I have seen them. Like they actually seem to have come down a little bit. Eggs are insane right now. Like eggs are stupid expensive to the point where I don't even rotate eggs into my diet anymore, unless I'm like out to eat. Okay, that makes sense about Cincinnati then. So X Adam 1 says, "What is my gun-related goal in 2023?" So, well, as stated earlier, I'm looking at consolidating calibers, getting rid of most of my surplus stuff. Twofold, to consolidate calibers and to help pay rent. I got to get paid here for the next 2 months because I have to pay double rent. So that's one goal. I'd like to either get an AK or a semi-auto 308 this year. But we'll see what happens because there's a lot of other expenses and debts I gotta pay and stuff this year. So we're gonna see how that all plays out. Like there's other stuff I want to get that's not gun related that kind of takes a little bit of a preference, but at the same time, if I get a smoking good enough deal and I have the money to do so, I'll pull the trigger on an AK or a good semi-auto 308. Outside of that, though, nothing really gun related, like goal wise. More just like gear wise, I want to upgrade and like get all my gear squared away, get some more ammo, things of that nature. Exit 343 says, starting to build a chicken coop to hold up to 12 hens. Very nice. Just watch out for coyotes.
Fox, raccoons, weasels.
Yeah, just don't try to intimidate the mountain lion when you're stalking your ass like the coyote. Yeah, that fucking guy. Again, I understand he was trying to like scare it off, but I'm pretty sure that that mountain lion was protecting something, so it was not going to get scared off. $30 for the steak I cook for dinner. I don't even know the last time I bought steaks. I couldn't even tell you the last time I bought steaks. They're so fucking expensive.
Last time
Like, literally my meat anymore is chicken because I can still usually get a 5-pound, like right close to a 5-pound flat of chicken breast for 10 to 12 bucks. And then I eat a lot of lean ground chicken or the lean ground turkey. Or even like I've even been cut into like normal ass ground turkey anymore because it's so like I just bought a 3-pound thing of ground turkey the other day. It was $15. I was like, Jesus Christ, that's stupid. Like I used to pay $9, like $8-9 for the same thing. So sometimes I'll go the cheaper stuff just because that I can still get for around $8-9. It's not as good for me, but whatever. There you go. Pretty good with a 22. Yeah. My buddy built he lives like 45 minutes west of me. I wouldn't say he lives in the country. He doesn't, but like his property is a good sized piece of property. Like he has 2 acres, I think it is. And he built a pond and everything on it. So he built a chicken coop on it on his property, but it's like not up by the house. It's like down the hill, like over by the pond. And he's had a hell of a time with foxes and stuff getting in there and like killing all the chickens and stuff. I'm like, dude, it's like by the time I get there, they're already gone. I'm like, yeah, because you have it like halfway across your property. Like it's in the dark. Like you don't have lighting around there. So it's not like you can take a shot from your front porch. And even if you could, you have it's not a main road, but it's a busy enough traveled road like out there. So I'm like, you'd be technically you're shooting down at your lake, but there's still a road like over here. So like you don't want to be shooting in the direction of the road because no. So and it's not a big enough property where you can shoot and like not wake the neighbors. So he's kind of screwed. I was like, dude, he's built in a really shitty part. Like, how did you not think of that? Yeah, there is. You got rattle bugs out there and all sorts of fun stuff. 5 pounds of chicken was $18 up by you. Holy shit. Now so if I go to my local grocery store, 5 pounds of chicken would probably be close to that. Like it'd probably be like, especially if you go like Purdue or something, it'd probably be like $16-17. I just buy Walmart brands fucking chicken breast.
Last
The
time,
Lake Anarchy says, we don't buy steak anymore. We go to a local butcher shop that has chicken burgers and sausage for decent prices. Because they butcher in the back and sell in the front. Yeah. So I've had steak since I just haven't bought steak. I've had steak though. Like I've gone to restaurants and had steak. I just haven't bought steak like for me to cook myself because plus I'm only ever cooking usually for myself. Like I'm not usually cooking for other people, so there's no point for me to. Although with the new place, I got to get a grill again and all that fun stuff because summertime's around the corner. So chicken problem in Utah is mostly skunks. Yeah, that makes sense. Beef prices are high. Yeah, the local manager special on 3-day-old beef. Yeah, I know that feeling. Yep. I mean, that's the way I look at raw feeding is chicken's chicken. I mean, granted, I know there's obviously some differences, I'm sure. Like, usually the Purdue is trimmed a little bit more, but I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I don't give a shit.
Get the cheapest and work the best.
Yeah. So I'll trim it a little bit more, like trim some of the crappy shit out. Like, I don't really care. But that's me. Like, other people don't. So, but that's what I've been restricted to because, like, yeah, beef is insane right now. Eggs are insane right now. I haven't looked at the prices of fish for a while, but I'm assuming fish is also insane right now.
I don't know. Not look at fish, so.
Yeah, I haven't bought fish.
No,
I bought shrimp over the summer. I want to say like June, I think, was the last time I bought like shrimp to cook. And I remember it was expensive, but it wasn't like mind-blowingly expensive.
I have someone I can trade some honey for some beef if I want beef.
Salmon is more than steak.
Really, salmon? Wow.
Exactly. Like, don't spend the extra $1.99 more for the breast to be trimmed. Just like take the 15 seconds and debone and put the skin off to yeah.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's
so the only red meat I have is some venison.
Yeah. Speaking of price spikes, Dairy Queen Blizzard's cakes, the smallest one is of Jesus Christ, you're kidding me. A tiny Blizzard ice cream cake is $25. Nope.
Wow.
No way. No, that should be illegal.
Wow.
I mean, you knew it was bad when what was it like a year ago, maybe even more than a year ago, when the dollar store started going up to the $1.25 store. Like right there, it's like maybe things aren't doing so well. I do like chicken thighs also, but I do enjoy chicken thighs. Just they're a little bit fattier, so I try to stay a little bit leaner and stuff. But like if I'm really on a budget, I'll just buy chicken thighs. You get more flavor out of them, but.
So you don't have the hand of barbecuing on the open fire?
The what?
Yeah, my dad know how to really cook on the open fire grill.
Oh, I agree. Chicken thighs on the crock pot for meal prep. Yep.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna make like soup or anything like that, I will use chicken thighs. Like if I'm gonna do any sort of like soups, or if I'm doing like Hawaiian chicken or something like that, I'll always use chicken thighs. Always, always, always. Because it's just, you get more flavor, especially if they're going to melt down in a crock pot. The only time I'll do breasts in a crock pot is if I'm doing like shredded breasts, because I'm going to make like a dip, like a buffalo wing dip or something like that. Then I'll use chicken breasts, but nah. Ugh. Sorry, I'm gotta grab a drink. I'm a little parched. But that would be a good, well, maybe. I mean, I don't know if anyone has any interest in it, but maybe doing a topic of like, cheap meals or something like that to get through, like how to feed a family for a budget or something like that, or um, those kind of ideas for like situational stuff.
That sounds good. I don't.
There's lots of different recipes you can do that are high nutrition, whatever, to feed a group of people. So
I would have to really think about that one.
yeah, like there's a lot of options you can do, especially if you have stuff like a crock pot or you have even like a soup pot. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, crock pots are great. I love my crock pot because it makes it nice and easy. But like, you have a soup pot, you can do a lot of the same stuff. You just kind of got to watch it a little bit more. Um, you know, just cheaper ways to feed people during these times instead of the traditional ways of, there's
Yeah.
there's a really good channel on YouTube, and I'm gonna butcher his name because I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it's like budget meals or something, or like prohibition meals or something. Like he'll literally sit there and like walk into, well, at the time it was a dollar store. I don't know if he still does it, but he'd grab like a $5 bill and be like, I'm gonna feed my whole family for $5 out of like the dollar store. He's at 343 says, oh shit, I'm the king of cheapy meals. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna write that down. Cheap meal ideas. I make what I call grow food: can of peas, can of cream of mushroom, 2 cups of rice, uncooked, and 1 pound of ground beef. Cook all mixed together. That's that's solid. That's a solid meal. Trying to cover all my bases in regards to food wise. Fortunately, buying for one is easy. Also, imitation is a form of flattery. Crock pots, slow cookers, or Dutch ovens. Just dump anything in them and let them cook. Yeah, for the most part. I mean, that really is the theory behind it. Is I remember my dad. He didn't do it this last year because, like, with all his surgeries and health and stuff like that, it was kind of tough. But in the past, every year after Thanksgiving, he would, like, usually for a couple of days, we'd all have like turkey sandwiches or whatever the fuck off the bird, and leftovers, leftover mashed potatoes, whatever. But usually by like end of day 2, early day 3, he would take everything like mashed potatoes, peas, sweet potato, whatever the fuck, turkey, obviously, cranberry sauce, whatever there was, and he would stuffing. He'd dump it on the crock pot and just like let it cook, and it would turn into almost like we used to call it Thanksgiving soup. Stew is where it's at for budget meals. Potatoes, veggies, bouillon, small amount of meat. Add some cheese to taste per person. You're done. Yeah, pretty solid. Speaking of which, there's a running theory that the ocean is a soup. Because if you think about it, what does a soup have? Has water, seasoning, vegetables, usually, and usually some sort of meat. Ocean's a soup. Ocean's just a giant soup. But yeah, there's lots of stuff. I used to do a I'm kind of like jumping the gun here, and I'm definitely able to bring up some more recipes. But I used to do a white chicken chili back in the day, where I would grab like a bag of pinto and like a bag of black beans, or cans, usually because that way I didn't have to cook the beans. I could just grab the cans quick and easy. Throw can of each in the crock pot. Throw in a couple cans of already chopped up chicken. Like the big cans of chopped chicken, usually like 2 of those. Bag of or can of Rotel. Um, and then I'd usually do, what was the other shit I had in there? Sorted spice. I gotta find the recipe because I don't want to butcher the spices. I have it written down someplace with like the different spices I would use. Usually just shit from the spice rack or whatever, and just let it all cook down, and then I would pour that over rice. Like I just cook up a bunch of rice, pour it over rice, chicken chili. Just on my smoker while I'm doing ribs pork comes out awesome. Yeah, so Yeah, with the smoker aspect, so I have a buddy that smokes, and like I wanted to get a smoker. When I was in Arizona, they were very strict on having grills or smokers or anything in the backyard. I was worried about getting kicked out, so I never bought one there. And then here, technically I have a balcony, but I'm one person. I'm never here that often, so like why am I gonna bother smoking anything? But at the new place, like I gotta get a grill again. I'm probably just gonna get I don't know what I'm gonna get. I was debating on just getting like a charcoal grill, like the $50, Coleman little charcoal grills or whatever. But I'm debating on going all out and getting like a grill smoker combo because I would really love to get into smoking stuff. Can of Vienna sausage and potted meat with crackers. Yeah, that works. I meal prepping rice and scrambled eggs for lunches when I was out on my own for the first time. Yeah, so trying in the healthier side is beans. It does, but like it doesn't have to. Like, I mean, obviously with the price of eggs going up, like eggs used to be a great way to keep healthy and cheap. Um, Now it's still, your canned chicken, your canned tuna. I know people are like, oh, mercury poisoning. Yeah, if you eat too much. Yes, I get that. I understand that. But like, you can still do a lot with tuna, chicken, um, turkey. Obviously, lean ground turkey is better, but regular ground turkey will work in a pinch. It's still leaner than beef. Obviously, I know it's not going to have the same flavor, but spices and stuff like that, you can change stuff up. Get a Weber kettle. That might have been the Weber can grill and use as a smoker. Really, a Weber kettle. Why is that ringing a bell? Where the fuck did my listing go? Hold up. Is that the one I was thinking of? Why was I thinking Coleman? I don't know why I was thinking Coleman. I think I was thinking like Coleman stoves. Weber kettle. Yeah, that's exactly what I was. Yeah, I was thinking of the Weber kettle. Okay, that's exactly what I was thinking of. I was thinking of like the cheaper version, but no, that's perfect for what I want because I've grilled on propane in the past. It's fine, but like I always prefer charcoal. And so if I can smoke on this also, which it looks like you can, they're not expensive. Like that's solid right there. Okay, cool. And for most of my cookout needs, like that's gonna cover it. I gotta check and see again too with how big this backyard's gonna be. I know there's a back deck. I saw like kind of a picture of it, but it's hard to tell from a picture and how it was angled, like really what the size of the deck's gonna be. So, but thank you for the hint. Exit 343. Uh, Matter Mark. Jesus Christ. Living on the coast, we can get really nice fish, seafood. Been buying more hooks, line weights, and a lot of that stuff is made in East Taiwan. Might become really hard to find. Thankfully, I am really like that is one thing I'm really set on. Outside of poles, I gotta get another pole. Well, a couple poles because I got rid of all mine when I was in Arizona. I don't know why because I never went fishing in Arizona. Like there wasn't really a lot of places to go, so I never went. Um, but so when I was out there, I was like, fuck it, I'm just getting rid of all my fishing poles and stuff. Like I have a small cast line, like I have one of those hand reels and stuff, but I want to get some actual like fishing poles again, and I want to get my fishing like because fishing license in Pennsylvania is cheap. I'm gonna get my fishing license again this year, especially now that I'll be back home and I don't have to worry about like, oh, I want to go fishing with people. Well, I gotta wake up in the morning and drive 2 hours north and then meet up with people, and then like I can just wake up and go and like be done. And actually, where the new place is at, the river is it's not right behind my house that I'm gonna be at, but it's relatively close behind the house to where I'm at. So like it's an easy enough walk as long as there's not like a ton of fences and stuff in the way. I can just walk down to the river and like fucking fish right there. So I want to start fishing some more this year because I enjoy fishing. Like even if it's like hey, I'm gonna wake up early on a Saturday morning, grab a breakfast burrito, walk down to the river, go fish for a little bit, an hour or two, then come back, do whatever I got to do, hang out with my friends, whatever. Um, like it's just relaxing, so that'll be nice to do. But oh,
The
you're back.
one, oh, I've been back. I just listened.
Oh, right on, right on.
Uh,
But I got a ton of hooks and lures and stuff like that from it because that stuff I didn't get rid of because that was easy enough to transport. It was the poles that was the pain in the ass. So
one thing I want to invest in a freeze dryer.
a freeze dry. Oh
I think,
yeah.
I think that's what they call. You know what they call? So expensive though, but I got I got apple trees I can probably freeze dry and all that.
Yeah, exit 343 says definite learning curve to using a smoker, but once you get, you never go to a barbecue restaurant again. I'll still probably end up going, but yeah, I want to be able to smoke as much stuff as possible. Like my buddy that has it, he has one of the stand-up smokers. That's all like he just like sets it with the time. It's like sets an alarm that's like linked to his smartwatch and stuff. Like I don't care about doing all that, but like I want to like some of the smoking recipes I see, I'm like, fuck, I want to make that, and it's easy enough to make, and like that'd be great for a party, but I can't because I don't have room.
We, my dad, when the old metal refrigerator, my dad used to use that for a smoker.
Oh, I've seen some weird stuff turn to smokers. Like that's why I love going to country concerts because there's always some weird redneck that shows up with like I don't know, like a septic tank or like a old like bomb or something that's turned to a smoker. You're like, okay.
I seen one put like use a like Volkswagen Beetle, strip it down.
Oh yeah, I've seen like weird shit like that. It's insane. Especially like some of these large smoking competitions. It's like what the fuck.
Like this.
Matter Mark says surf fishing is awesome. Have the lines out and hanging out on the beach. I hear surf fish. It's really cool. That'd be neat. Penn does have decent trout fishing. We don't have. Yeah, we have decent trout fishing. Okay, bass. Get all size lines also, 4 pounds up to 15 pounds, depending on the fish species if your area. Yeah. Fish Brain app is great finding all the local spots. Okay, Fish Brain. Okay, I'll have to check that out, Tom F. Thank you. Holy shit. Pulled out 4 rainbow trout. That's awesome. Fish Brain app. Okay. Yeah, there's a couple fishing spots I know just like up near me that I can go to, and like again, I have that river that's right there if I ever want to. But
I know.
I'm not sure how I feel about septic tank barbecue. I don't think it was a used septic tank. I mean, I could be wrong on it. It looked like a septic tank. I could be wrong on it, but like, you see some weird stuff. Like my old neighbors when I lived in Scranton, real nice Hispanic family that lived next door. I swear to God, every day during the summer they were out there, and I don't think they actually ever had a grill, but they had a smoker that was like. It was a huge, I don't even know what this thing was. It was some sort of huge cylindrical container that they turned into a smoker, and they would smoke like entire pigs on it. And at the end of it, their wheel wasn't like a handle. It was a steering wheel off like a Honda Civic that was just connected to like a shaft. And the grandpa used to go out there. Like grandpa couldn't really walk, so he'd just go out there and he'd plop his ass next to that steering wheel. And all day long during the summer, like we'd be outside grilling on our grills, and he'd just be smoking. He'd rotate that wheel every now and then. And then, when it came feeding time, like we'd trade them some hot dogs and burgers. They trade us pigs. We trade them, whatever bullshit, shitty ass light beer we had. And they trade us, like cervezas or whatever beer they had. And it was just a fun time. It was a good time, but
I can picture this.
The what?
I can picture the smoker now.
Oh yeah, like he just sat there and like we'd be sitting there having like rap music on or whatever, like him typical music, and he'd be sitting there like they'd have their Spanish music on. It's just two backyards going at it, and then you're just the fence in the middle, and we're just trading plates over the fence and beers over the fence, and none of us could understand each other. Like we're just like, oh, just nodding, like, this, yeah, okay, here you go. It was a good time. Then I lived there for a couple years. It was literally from like end of May to like early September. But you did what you had to do. So real nice people, though.
Yep.
Love Jimmy Buffett concert. Saw a man turn a weed whacker into a margarita machine. Pickup truck bed made into a pool. I've seen the pickup truck beds made into pools. I see that at the country concerts all the time. There's always kids up there like trying to turn their truck beds into pools or hot tubs, and sometimes they work, sometimes they're not smart about it. But it is what it is. Well, it looks like shit. We've gone for almost 2 hours. Remember, I was going to cut this off at 8 Eastern, but that didn't happen.
Nope.
Sometimes finding mesquite wood is a pain in the ass. I'm up in northern Arizona. Yeah. We used to get mesquite, like, we used to be able to find mesquite wood real easy where I was at, but not anymore. Oh, those pew-pews, those aren't real pew-pews. Those are like Red Ryder BB guns that I bought at a yard sale for like, I think one was 50 cents, the other one was like $1. Years ago, and they were all rusted to like they were beat up, rusted to shit, like all seized up. And so I just repainted them and like sanded down the stocks and restained the wood. So I made them wall hangers because they're never gonna function again. So
why not?
But I thought he meant on this wall, and I was like, oh, you can't really see what's on this wall because this wall I have my Nagant revolver, I have my Mosin. So, but
Right, if you turn right here, behind me, outside of me, I have all my.
Yeah, they were cheap as decorations, and literally, like when I saw them, I was like, oh, these make cool little wall hangers, like whatever. So I had the cowboy hat, and I had the. So being down in Arizona, I've been to Tombstone more times than I can count because every time someone came into town, they're like, oh, I want to go to Tombstone. It's right down the road, right? It's like, no, it's a 3-hour drive each way. And you see the same thing every single time. But I have so when you go to Tombstone and you do the little tour there, they give you a copy of the newspaper from that day. And so it's all like old-timey looking. It's all like stained. It makes it look all old and everything. Well, it kind of was stained. It's more just like old-timey looking. So I stained it with coffee and like really gave it some like wear and tear. And I put it in a frame, so I made it look like an actual like copy of it. And so I have that hanging up with the fake lever guns and the cowboy hat.
There you go.
Not
all of them.
That's nice. That's nice cabinet.
And not all of them I own, but
nice. Very nice. I see everything, apparently.
I have a gun in that corner, that corner. I need to get a new cabinet soon.
Exit 343 says, usually ask around the valley if anyone has a mesquite tree that they want hauled away. Yeah. Just takes half a year to season. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, we used to go. I remember the one place I did Cars and Coffee down in Chandler. It wasn't Tractor Supply. Fuck. What was it? Why am I blanking on the names? I was there I was there at least once a month. Why can I not think of the name of the place? But they used to sell like wood chips and stuff like that for smokers, and they always had mesquite. Oh, you got a hidden camera. Jesus, I'm sorry that you have to see what you have to see then. So much raw feeding in that cowboy hat. Hopefully it's not in here all day long. But uh yeah, I gotta start taking stuff off the walls. Like that'll probably be my next box of shit that I box. Like so far I boxed up spare like wires and connectors and cables and stuff for laptops and things I never use. So I boxed some of that stuff up, but I gotta start boxing up some of my wall hanger, like pictures and shit. Just getting stuff off the walls, getting stuff situated, because that stuff will be easy to move up there. Because I can just kind of like I'll shove it into a corner of a room, and be like, yeah, fuck it, like I'll hang it up when I get to it. Yeah, yeah, I'm moving again. I'm hopefully going to be relocated. I'd love to be relocated by the Super Bowl. I still have to pay on this place until the end of February. But I'm really hoping I can get, so next week I have to do travel. So like I don't get to bring anything up this coming weekend, which sucks because I'm coming up to get the keys for the place. And the pain in the ass with this place is the tenants that were there got evicted, but they have 30 days to collect their crap. They got evicted beginning of the month. So I'm good friends with the landlord. We're basically putting all their crap into one spot. But I don't want to have any of my stuff up there until they come and grab their shit or until those 30 days are up and they no longer have access to the property, because I just don't want to risk some of the stories I heard about them. I don't want to risk having any of my stuff up there, especially if I'm down here, my stuff's up there. I don't want to deal with that. So,
I don't blame you.
Yeah, so I'm not bringing any of my stuff really up there until later on in the month when I can actually stay up there. But I have to get my internet switched up there for work purposes, so I also have to have electric up there. So I'm hoping not this weekend, not next weekend, but the following weekend I can get all that done, get electric up there, get cable hooked up there, and then I can just kind of come back here as I need, like come back, grab a couple boxes, bring them up. I'm hoping that weekend is too, when I get all that stuff hooked up, done up there, I can have my buddies come down and move my big shit, or help me move my big shit up there. So we'll see what happens with all that. It's a headache. My choice. It's my choice. So yeah, my choice. It's when I moved out here, I moved to Philly because I wanted to be close enough to friends and close enough to family, but far enough away that they weren't at my door every weekend. But the amount of time I'm spending up there is astronomical, like between fuel and toll road fees and everything like that. It just makes more sense for me to be up there. And two, like in dealing with my parents, they're both getting older into that age. I'm like, I should probably be around more and closer more. So, and it's cheaper up there. It's actually cheaper up there, fuel-wise, rent-wise, everything like that. Two of my friends that were down here are moving. Well, one of them is moving back up there full-time. One of them is up there probably 75% of the time. So I'm like, it just makes sense. But I saw 343 say, seriously starting to think about setting up a barbecue truck this year. That'd be kick-ass. The food truck scene, I mean, in Arizona is definitely competitive, but a barbecue truck, I mean, there's always a win. And there's plenty of stuff, like plenty of festivals and events and stuff you could definitely go to. So my aunt in Oregon rents out a house. The last tenant's completely trashed the place. She's trying to sell it now. It's super close to Portland and Tifa Central. Best of luck with her.
Yep.
Yeah, she is rough eating. Yeah, so it's just easier for everything. Yeah, the old tenants that he had, so it's a split level. They both got evicted. One of them left on their own fruition. The other one, they actually had to come call the sheriffs and like forcibly remove them. But the one lady that left on her own fruition, she like removed all the doors to the place. So like, it's been a headache for him. So he's like, and again, he's good friends with me. So he's like, we got to paint it. And like my maintenance guy wants to do this. I'm like, dude, whatever you need help with, like, I'll help you around up there because I'm going to be around the next 2 weekends up there. I'm like,
Let
I'll
me
help
know,
do
huh?
whatever. Yeah, I'm like, I'll help do whatever manual labor I got to do. Like, just take some money off my rent. I don't really give a shit. He's like, all
Ho-
right.
Hopefully they didn't trash the place too bad for you.
That's what I'm going to see. Like, he didn't send me any pictures or anything of it, so I have no idea. So I'm going to find out this weekend. We'll find out more. So,
My dad used to rent a few houses, and one of the window just did what they did. They trashed the place, though.
yeah.
New drywall. It cost him a lot more money than it worth, so he fished it
Well,
up and sold it.
yeah, that was his old place. Like, when I first rented a place from him years ago, it was a half double, and the people that lived on the other side, we had to evict them, and they like punched a huge hole in the drywall we had to fix. They left cats in the house, so the entire house reeked of cat piss. We had to rip up all the carpets, bleach
Oh,
bomb the whole. It was horrible.
yeah.
Um,
That one thing about cats I don't like. I like
yeah.
cats, but if they pee on somewhere, they smell hard to get rid
Hopefully,
of them.
hopefully you don't find a meth lab in the closet. Yeah, maybe that'll help. Maybe it'll help cover the cost of rent. At the cost of moving in. Yeah, it's a win-win-win all around. Plus, I'm out of Philly. Like, where I'm at now is not bad, but it's on the verge. Like, you can feel the tension in the air. Like, the town next to me is considered more dangerous than Baltimore. Thankfully, it doesn't spill into our area really, but like I know just alone down in Philadelphia, like Center City, Philadelphia, where my friend used to go into the office and work. Like there have been people that have shot like the skyscrapers down there, and she's like that. I've been down here since 2012. Like that would, or 2012, 2013. She's like that stuff never happened ever. It's only been in the last 2 years. So, plus too, it's a single floor. It'll be easier for the dog getting around. There's more parking. It's close. It's just a win all around. So. I love animals, but I'm not a cat person. You can have the smartest cat in the world, and they still piss and poop in your house. That's true. I mean, my parents have 8,000 cats, and I'm not someone that typically goes to cats, but like those cats love me, and like I love those cats. Like they get along well. The lady has cats, and they're both cool. Like one of them's a dickhead, and he judges everybody, and is not friends with people, but he's still cool. I'm not someone that hunts out cats, but if I'm at a party and like a cat comes over, I'm like, oh, cool cat. Like I'll hang out with the cat all day. I don't give a shit. But I'm like that with any animals. Like you could have an alligator walk over and be like, oh, alligator, yeah, let me play with him. Is a heavily minority populated area or just crackheads? Where I'm going or where I'm at? Because where I'm at, I guess you could say it was heavily minority. It's just a poor area. So like where I'm at, I'm on kind of like I'm on the cusp. Because if you go that way, you're in Chester, PA, which is like hood. But if you go this way, it's not like it's nice area, but like you can walk down here and like you're driving down the street and you're like, oh, this is kind of, it's like hood adjacent, but then you turn down the side street and it's a beautiful suburb and it doesn't make sense. And then like there's like, oh, here's an apartment complex that kind of looks like it could be shady, maybe, but then right next to it is like a beautiful retirement village, and you're like, okay, none of this makes sense. But that way, definitely hood area. And then where I'm going to is actually right near a college, so it's really nice area. It's a very well-off-to-do college. It's not like a community college. It's actually the college I went to when I was going for my bachelor's, and I only lasted a semester because I had to drop out and stuff. But so very expensive college. So cats are like kids. I love hanging out with other people's, but I want to be able to give them back. That's pretty accurate. Yeah. I don't run across the Amish folk. No, the Amish folk fall in between where I'm at. Actually, the Amish folk are a little bit more west from where I'm at. Like a little bit more northwest from where I'm at, in the middle of really nowhere. So I don't run into them. Like when I go down that way. Like if I go to Harrisburg or something, there's areas where if I was to get off the highway, I would run into Amish folk, but they're not on the highway, so. Yes, hood adjacent. We are hood adjacent. I will say this. I mean, knock on wood. I've been here since I moved in March 3rd, I think, of last year. Not once have I heard gunshots. Not once have I heard like screaming in the hallways and people getting into fights. You know, I think once or twice I had someone like playing loud music or something, or someone yelling at their kids you could hear, but like nothing, or like kids, running around yelling, or like a drunk guy yelling, but like nothing crazy. And I walk almost every day in the neighborhood. And granted, I understand, like I'm different than like if I was like a scrawny, small little girl or something. Like I understand, imagery, but like no one's ever mean mugged me or like mean-eyed me, or I haven't run into like a weird crack. Like I've run into some people that are probably on something. They're like begging for $1, but it's rare. Like I think I could count on probably one hand the amount, maybe two hands if I had to, but wouldn't surpass two hands the amount of times that's happened. Like this area kind of takes care of its own, which is weird because again, you go a couple blocks that way and it's like, whew. So can you just go to their community and hang out? What, you mean the hood? I mean, technically Walmart's pretty much in the hood, and I go to Walmart all the time and never run into any issues. So the biggest thing we had happen here was down the road, like back in September, maybe it was early October. It was a main road. There's a dentistry place there, and some guy with a semi truck. I don't know if he fell asleep at the wheel or was trying to swerve or whatever. Just like plowed through the building, but I think it was an actual accident. I don't think it was because of anything else. But I live 3 minutes from UTSA. Yeah, I don't. So like normal Amish community. Oh no, the Amish. Yeah, so you could. Yeah, you could for the Amish. Yeah, you can just go into Amish community. Like they love it because they have their shops and stuff. They love having people hang out because you buy shit from them. They all have stores. Like they all sell shit. Um, all Walmarts are the hood hub of all cities. That's fair. This is not my longest chat yet. I think right before the holidays was my longest chat. That was like 2.5, almost 3 hours. Um, but yeah. So this college is, I don't have to worry about that because it's not. I mean, there's lots of liberal people there, but it's a smaller college, but it's a very wealthy college. Um, and it is a Catholic college, so like it's run by like I don't want to say it's run by the church, but I guess it kind of is because like the nuns and stuff technically live on campus, but like nuns don't teach the classes. It's really weird how to describe it, but it's not a place that I have to worry about security and stuff like that. Randy Butternup says hear gunshots almost every day here in Phoenix. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't hear, like even during 4th of July and stuff. I don't think I heard any. They do. They have amazing food. Like they know how to make food. We do not have constitutional carry. No, we have. You can open carry without a permit, but you have to have a permit to conceal. Technically, I'll leave it at that. So, I have my conceal. So now, um, can you like become an apprentice for the Amish? They have the best woodwork. They do have really good woodwork. I don't think I can become an apprentice for the Amish. Plus, it's like 2 hours west from where I'm currently at to go there. And from my other place, it would be 2 hours southwest. So, like, don't really feel like making that drive to apprentice with the Amish. But no, they're cool to visit. Like, if you're gonna go visit the Amish, like the other thing to do is like Hershey, PA. Maybe like, I mean, I'm gonna be driving through the area when I go to the farm show, because I'm probably gonna go to the farm and outdoor show in February. Depends how much travel and stuff I got to do with moving and where the moving situation is at that time. But uh, like I'll be going through their territory there. But outside of like the expo center where they have like the outdoor show, the farm show, they do a couple auto shows here and there, stuff like that. In Hershey, PA, there's nothing else down that way. So like that is the only thing to do is go visit the Amish and like buy shit from them. Come work for the Amish. We'll pay you in beef. I wish. That might actually make it worth it. That is correct because of Wolf. Thanks, Wolf. Fucking dickhead. And now we have Uncle Fester, so that's, well, I know he's not governor, but like we have Uncle Fester in our legislature also. Which if you guys have not watched that for fucking Fetterman, like I don't understand how you could go on TV and not get a suit that remotely fits you. It just blows my mind.
His lump in the back.
He's gonna get beat up and mugged by an Amish street gang. All I can picture is like Weird Al Yankovic, like all dressed up in Amish clothes, like beat me up. Amish Paradise plays in the background. No, Rough Eating Pup is good. She's over on the couch. She's sleeping right now. She is. So I got her in 2014. She was 2.5 then. So she is 11 years old, something like that right now. Uncle Fester, what's your REO? What do you mean REO?
Watch out for the Amish mafia.
Yeah, so if you look up Fetterman, he looks like Wish.com Uncle Fester. like look at Fetterman, what is it? Fetterman swearing in or whatever like that. He looks like Wish.com Uncle Fester. It is absolutely horrible. Oh.
I had to laugh because that's funny.
Yeah, it's, oh my God, it's so fucking bad. It's so bad.
They'll call him the hunchback. No, you don't have a true hunchback, but you got that thing in the back of the head.
Governor's name. So right now we have Wolf. Well, technically we still have Wolf, and then we just got, what the fuck was his name? Shapiro. He'll be the next guy. So, not great. Oh, nice. 12.5. Nice. Yeah, mine, I don't know about yours, but mine has not, like, she still has puppy brains all the time, so. Yes, the orangutan with the glasses is clutch. Yep, it is. It's Wish.com Uncle Fester. Like, that's exactly it. It's like they got this guy up on stage. He doesn't know where he's at. His kids are there. Like, he can't tell that those are his kids. Like, he's so, and like I feel bad for the guy. He had a stroke or whatever. Like, clearly he's not all there. Much like other person that's in office. But like he doesn't know where he's at. He's just looking around. He's all confused. Like his kids are running up to him. He's like all confused who they are. It's like, oh man, like I feel bad for him, but at the same time, he's also a scumbag who like leashed off his parents until he was 40 and decided to move out of their basement. So hard for me to feel a lot of pity. Like, and then just the fact that they're like, you know what, we're gonna swear you in, but we're gonna go to JCPenney and just grab a random suit and not like tailor it all, like not even try to get one that fits and is your right size. Like it's a size or two, maybe even 3 sizes too big, but like it'll work because it's what they had on sale. Like He's definitely an old man. He's been that way since he was 7. Grumpy old man dealing with the younger dog. I agree. That would have been the way PA got constitutional carry. I'm waiting for him to try. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely. If he signs it, well, then he signs it. Ain't going to change shit on my end, but. Yeah, so. Well, guys, shit, it's already 9:15. I got to wrap up some work stuff here and get to bed in the next 45 minutes. So, I hate to cut it short, but I appreciate everyone showing up. Next week, I'm not going to be doing a chat next week because I'm actually going to be in Arizona for a work summit. So I'm going to be gone all day next week. But maybe we'll push off to. I'm going to be home next week, so I don't know. But maybe we'll push off to Thursday. I'll keep you guys posted. I might do a next Thursday chat instead because I should be getting back late Wednesday night. I got to see what everything looks like. So I'll keep you guys posted. If not, we'll definitely be the following Tuesday. But just real quick, just to wrap it up, Rafi said, how did I get her? No, so my parents worked at the ASPCA at the time, and she had been there. She was 2.5 years old, and she had been there for almost 2 years. And so they told me about her. I had just moved. They had known I had just recently ended a relationship. They're like, yeah, a dog might be good for you. So it was one of those things. It just worked out for everyone. So I will give her belly rubs. See you in a few weeks. And Ledley Stanicky, keep me posted on that because that's a cool thing that he's trying to get started for Ohio Patriots. So, anyways, guys,
if you see him, yeah,
have a good one. Yeah, if you see Ohio Patriot, wish him a happy birthday.
Yeah, for me too. If I don't see him.
Yep. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.
Later.